All right, welcome everybody. Today I'm Coach Steve, by the way. Coach Steve, whoop whoop. It's cold and it's windy, but we're gonna do this anyway. We're gonna do a 9 exercise routine, 3 rounds. We'll do a little warm up at the beginning and we will cool down at the end. So, first thing I want you to do, let's go ahead and warm up your spine. Just turn side to side. Woo. It's a different temperature than what I'm used to. That's for sure. All right, warm up the spine. Get the ankles involved too. Make sure you swivel those. All right. Okay, let's go down as far as you can. All right, with being comfortable. We're just warming up. Hands over your head. Touch it down, bring it up. Touch it down, bring it up. I think I'm gonna have to move a little faster today to keep warm. Woo! Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you start your watch if that is something that you do to keep track of your exercise for today. Not even my watch wants to get started today. All right, let's put our hands in the middle, bring it up to the side, chop it down. Chop it down. Definitely get Spartan ready by being out here today. All right, let's go to the other side. As you're warming up, and if you're watching this on YouTube or some other platform, if you want to stop it now, make sure you get yourself a pad or a mat if you're not on carpet. All right, let's roll out our shoulders a little bit. You can grab yourself some water. All right, let's roll it the other way. All right, for our next dynamic warm up, if you want to hold on to something, I'm going to hold on to this bench just to show you. Bring your leg up and out and rotate it around. Warm up the hip flexors. Warm up those rotational muscles. All right, let's go to the other side. Next time I'm at this venue, it should be a lot greener. At least that's the hope. All right, let's go ahead and center yourself. We are going to get on the ground to begin with. We are going to do a combination of bear and crab. So if you want to just prop yourself up on a chair, if you're not able to get onto the ground, perfectly fine. All righty. Full screen on the ground. Whew, there we go. All right, so for this, I'm gonna back up a little bit. We're gonna start out in crab. We're gonna bring it forward in transition and come into bear. So we're gonna keep our feet static, work on our core control, go back and forth from bear to crab. Ready and go. Walk it out in the crab. Really works all your joints. Walk it out into bear crawl. Really works your ankle dynamically, works your wrist dynamically. All right, keep it going, 20 seconds. And if you need to stay upright or lean into a heavy piece of furniture, just stay in that bear crawl position or flip over and just stay in the crab position. All right. And rest. All right, we're coming up to our feet. So the next thing that we're going to do is jumping jacks. Now this works your coordination as well as your cardio. Go ahead and get started if you know jumping jacks, which most of us do. If you need to modify that, step it out, bring it in. Step it out, bring it in. Okay, so this is a good modification to work that weight shifting and coordination. All right. If you actually do a jumping jack, excuse me, when you do these, you can keep going while I'm talking. Try to keep your feet tight into your body. Try not to get them to go too far out. Keep them nice and narrow. Okay, just like that. That'll prevent any strain. And if you go out too far, you could possibly extend a little bit too far and injure yourself. So it's always good to keep this one tight. Plus, if you keep it tight, you can go a little faster. And rest. Whew. Maybe by the third set, I'll be warmed up. All right, we're doing marching bridges next. If you're unable to get on the ground, go ahead and do kickbacks from a wall. But marching bridges, we're laying back, hands on the ground, bring those legs up, march it out. You can feel those glutes to make sure they're engaged. They should be engaged the whole time. You can do the poke test to make sure. All right, getting close. And rest. All right. We're gonna flip over next. Now you can also do this one off the wall as well. So we're gonna go into plank position, and you can do a plank off the wall. That works too. All right. And then we're gonna drive our knees forward. All right, if you need this to be a little more intense, you can make these into mountain climbers, but just driving that knee a lot faster. All right, but keep that plank position, keep that core nice and tight as you bring those legs forward. You know, nice plank position is shoulder to hips to ankle, nice straight line. If you need to make it a little more sturdy, really tighten up those legs when you drive them forward. 15 seconds, you got this. Don't forget to smile. And rest. Whew. All right, we are back to our feet. So we're gonna do a very similar thing as we just did on the ground. All right, we're gonna do knee drives with a reach up. So I want you to drive those knees, bring them up. If you need to make this more intense, go ahead and jog this. I'm gonna keep it nice and controlled. If you have a little problem with balance, just grab one hand onto something and drive the other arm up as you drive the legs up. Good for coordination. Good for shoulder work too. Shoulders are starting to get a little fatigued. So we go through this minute, 10 seconds. And rest. Awesome. Next we're gonna do alphabet abs. I love alphabet abs. You can do this off of a chair too. But we're gonna get into this position. Hands underneath our tailbone to tip our back. Then you're gonna draw letters of the alphabet with your legs. The bigger those letters, the more controlled, or the more control you have to focus on your abs. Well, it's hard to talk on this one and do it at the same time. Whew. Angry Blue Jay. And rest. Woo! All right, back to our feet. All right, our next one is side shuffles. Use all the space that you have. I'll start over on this side, shuffle over this way, and back. Again, if you have more space, keep going right and left. Working those lateral muscles. You know, I'm thinking about, moving alongside when you're cooking something in the kitchen, something like that, working at a workbench. Working these side muscles so that makes it a little bit easier. I'm not warmed up yet. It's gonna take a while today. All right, we're doing crab dips next. Now you can do crab dips off of a chair as well as the ground. But if you're able to get on the ground, get to this position, elbows go backward, lift it up. If you want it to be a little bit harder, lift that abdomen up a little bit more. You can also lengthen your legs out. That'll make it a little bit more difficult. And slow this one down too. Again, try to maintain that tension for a longer period of time. If you're only doing these crab dips 3 minutes a week, might as well make them count. All right, nice and easy here. 20 seconds. Whew. I feel my triceps screaming already. All right, back to our feet. All right, for our last one in this round, we're doing jump squats. Don't feel like you have to do an actual jump in this. We can just keep it as a squat. If that's where you are, go ahead and get started. But for those of you training for something serious, let's put a big jump into it. If you just want to build bone mineral density, at least try to get off the ground a little bit. That'll increase the G-force on your lower body. to help build that bone mineral density. Seconds, we'll be done with round number 1. I'm putting a little pulse in there too. That stresses out the legs a little bit more. All right, round number 1 is complete. Grab yourself a drink. Take a deep breath. Get ready for round number 2. You got this. Remember, this first exercise is bear to crab. So, if you're having trouble making that transition, just do one or the other. Perfectly fine. So, do either the bear or the crab, and then switch on the last set. All right. If you're really training for something where you need to have, maximum flexibility and working on that flexibility, do this bear to crab walkthrough. All right, let's get into position. Ready? And go. You can see as I go through this, pretty much all of my joints are engaged as I go back and forth. All right, got this. 20 seconds. All right, excellent. All right, we're off to jumping jacks next. So again, you can keep them safe, all right, but still work on that weight shifting. You can really crank it up and do these as fast as possible. Go. And if you're doing regular jumping jacks, keep those feet nice and narrow on the hop. They don't have to go out too far. Keep it nice and controlled. All right. Seconds. And rest. Whew. All right. Next we got marching bridges. I'm gonna zip around this way and do it on the other side this time. All right, from this position, lift up those hips, drive the knees up. Keep those glutes nice and tight. All right, we're close. and rest. Whew, we're getting a little drizzle too. That's not good. All right, we're flipping over. So we just did the marching bridges. So it's kind of a knee drive on your back. Next, we're gonna do a knee drive as a plank. Ready and go. All right, you got this. Keep it up. Doing great. 25 seconds. Little ice chips falling out of the sky. And rest. Whew. All right, here's our third knee drive coming up. Standing knee drives with a reach. Little chickadee's coming to visit. All right, ready? And go. Fourteen seconds. And rest. All right, down on the ground for number abs. All right. Whoops. All right. All right, hands underneath your tailbone. You can pick whatever language you want. Go ahead and draw the alphabet of that language. You got this, keep it up. All right. Whew. More ice. That's great. All right, we got side shuffles next. Let's do it. Get down a little bit. And you can just stride it this way. That's fine too. Or you can put a little hustle into it. That works. All right, 25 seconds. Almost done with round number 2. Don't forget to breathe. Again, you can make these exercises as hard as you need to make them work for you. and rest. All right, we're down on the ground for some crab dips. Everybody loves a good crab dip, right? Of course. Okay. Elbow straight back, ready, and go. The blood's finally getting to my fingers, so that's a good thing. All right, halfway for this one. Again, if you need to further modify it and you're on the ground, just go ahead and put your butt on the ground and dip those elbows back. And rest. All right, we got jump squats and we'll be done with round number 2. Whoop. Okay. All right, don't forget to smile. We're almost done with round number 2. Ready and go. Again, if you can't jump, just do the squat part of it. It's perfectly fine. You need to get out of this what you need to get out of this for today. Whatever your goals are, meet those goals. Meet your own expectations. And rest. All right, round number 2 in the books. And again, for those of you watching it on recording or on YouTube or whatever, if you have time for 1 round, then that's what you do. If you have time for 2 rounds, that's what you do. Whatever you have time for, some movement is better than no movement. So make it happen for yourself. I challenge you to pick one of these exercises and do it 3 or 4 times during the day, just to change it up for yourself a little bit. You're not going to get sweaty if you just do 20 seconds of any one of these particular exercises. Just incorporate them all the time. You know, think about how you can move differently throughout the day. All right, let's get into that bear or the crab position and shuffle off to a bear or your modification. Ready and go. This is the last round, make it count. Remember, for this one, we're working on joint mobility, so, you know, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Even your hips are getting stressed out a little bit too. All right, you got this. Ten seconds. All right, back to our feet. We got our jumping jacks next. Keep them tight or keep them controlled. We can do this. Whoop, whoop. Ready? And go. those legs tight or walk it out. Work on that coordination. 30 seconds. Give our shoulders a little break for the next one. Excellent. All right, we are down for marching bridges next. So remember, when we get down for marching bridges, hands flat, knees in, driving each of the knees up. Ready? And go. Almost there. Keep those glutes tight. And rest. All right, we're flipping over for plank knee drives. All right, ready? And go. All right, good job. Keep it up. 10 seconds. And rest. Woo. All right, one more knee drive. This is our standing knee drive. Whew. All right, ready? And go. A little bit of sunshine peeking through. All right, 20 seconds. Whew. And rest. All right, we're off to alphabet abs. All right, hands underneath your tailbone, flatten that back to the ground. Pick your alphabet and draw it with your legs. I'll be working on ab control on this one. These definitely don't have to be fast. You should feel your core working to keep those legs up off the ground. 15 seconds. All right. Whew. We got side shuffles next. Whew. We can do this. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Ready? And go. Again, go as fast or as slow as you need to on these ones. Keep those knees bent. If you're working to get ready for a race, it's always good to pick up the pace on these guys. And rest. All right, we got our crab dips next. We're getting close, almost there. 2 more and we'll stretch it out. Ready and go. All right, 20 seconds.
Recording stopped.
Uh-oh. Well, that's interesting. All right. All right, one exercise left, and that is our jump squats or just our squats. Whatever works for you today. Let's do it. "25 seconds. And rest. All right, nice work. All right, we're gonna do a little stretching next, and that'll be it for today. I appreciate you tuning in. Today, hit the follow button if you're on a social media platform or an exercise platform. Let's take this arm, bring it across your body, and hold it with your other arm. Stretch out that shoulder. Looking good. All right, switch. Open up those fingers nice and wide. We often forget to stretch out our fingers, so please do that. Comes that little chickadee again. It's very curious as to what's going on here. All right, interlock your fingers, stretch it all the way up. Try to get a full stretch from your outside of your legs, up your abdomen, all the way up your arms. Lean over to one side. All right, switch. All right, let's roll. Bring your legs a little closer together. Let's roll out our hips. All right, switch directions. Chickadee's got a lot to say. All right, let's roll out our shoulders. All right, roll them the other way. All right, let's do a little lateral lunge. Stretch out that leg, the straight leg. And switch. All right, awesome job. Thank you so much for coming today. Again, hit the follow button so you can get this content when it comes out, and follow me on social media platforms, and thank you so much for coming.